All right, Stu, they'll hear anything you.
And that's our show. Thank you to Meg Gailey, to Irma, to Alita D, and Shane Spillane. We'll be back next Wednesday for our Halfway to Hanukkah show with special guests Kristin Seltman and Hope Vinitsky. In the meantime, wait
a minute. Were we doing a week-long improv show?
I think we just did a 7-day improv set.
Well, I guess we didn't know how to log off, or I don't know what happened. Somehow
here's the crappy part. We just did a 7-day improv set and no one saw it.
That's true. We somehow logged off. We're in the same Zoom meeting, but
and that included costume changes. That included laundry changes. That means we did Thomas Pynchon impressions.
Yeah.
No one saw it.
No one saw a thing. Oh no.
Well, just on to the next show, I guess.
On to the next show.
Live 3 miles apart on the Lord's Corridor in Chicago, it's
semi-regular Wednesdays.
It's our Halfway to Hanukkah show with our special guests, Kristin Seltman, plus Anthony Kapfer, Esther Forrester, Ben Pernick, David Spector, and our interview guest, sound effects guru, Hope Vinitsky. And now, two guys who learned Hebrew just to pick up girls. Bangers. Boy, indeed.
Yeah, learned Hebrew just to pick up girls. That's a very specific demographic you're going for there.
Yeah, I mean, easy thing to do is learn French or learn Spanish or something. But I felt like that was like Hebrew is next level.
Yeah.
I feel that's even more impressive. But I digress. Good evening, everyone. For those of you who do not know us, Dan and I are the Flower Shop Bangers. We are an improv duo based out of Chicago. We have been doing, I should say that we have been performing together for a little over 8 years, and we have been doing Zoom shows pretty much the entire pandemic, all going on 15 months now. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in this evening. You are in for a really jam-packed show, a really fun show. We're going to have 4 comedians, 1 musical comedy act, and a special interview guest. Before I get started, though, Dan, if you could say a few words about some of the small businesses that we're supporting, as well as some ongoing fundraisers.
Of course, Stuart. So if you look down below, you'll see a little rotating banner, and that is a lot of places that we think you should give your money to. First, there is a GoFundMe organized by the comedian Chris Red. Chris Red is trying to raise money for people who were affected by Black Lives Matter's protests, who might have contracted the disease, and he wants to try to help cover their medical costs through this GoFundMe. So you can find the link to it in the description of the event. Second, there is the place where Stuart and I usually host this show at, and that is Shakers on Clark. Shakers is what am I hearing? I don't know. Anyway, Shakers is trying to tip their bar staff during this pandemic. So you can go to their GoFundMe and you can donate to their donate to it to help them pay their bar staff, because they can't do it at this time. So if you are at home and if you are having a beverage that is maybe alcoholic, maybe otherwise, you can give that money that you would have given to the bar to Shakers. Whether you can make yourself a Long Island iced tea tonight and give it to them. They have Long Island iced teas in many different flavors. It's a lot of fun. Next, there's a place I actually just was at today, and that is Body Shack. Body Shack is a really great black-owned gym in Uptown, and they have really great fitness classes. I was on the bicycle and doing weights today. Really great workout I got. And I have a link to both their GoFundMe as well as to their as well as to their website. If you would want to sign up for classes, if you happen to live in the area, or if maybe you're just visiting and you want looking for a place to easily get a good workout in. Next, there is First Sip Cafe. First Sip Cafe is a really great coffee and tea shop right off the Argyle Red Line stop in Chicago. Really can't recommend them enough. They have a lot of great great selection of drinks, all different varieties, mostly coffee and tea. And and I have a link in the description to their to buy gift cards there. Last and certainly not least, there is the place where Stuart and I do a lot of comedy at, and that is the Comedy Clubhouse. The Comedy Clubhouse is currently revamping their educational system. They have classes in stand-up, in improv, and in theatricals. You can study 1, 2, or all 3 if you want to. If you want to study comedy, you can start it at any level, anywhere from complete beginner to the highest level, which I think he calls artisan. Any of those are good. Other than that, I would say if these don't apply to you, go out and support your own local businesses. Also, we like to know that people are watching, so if you could either like the feed or comment on it just to let us know, we'll be sure to give you a shout out in between acts so that people will know. That's all I got. Back to you, Stuart.
Thank you so much, Dan. As far as the theme of tonight's show is concerned, it just so happens that exactly 6 months from tonight is the 4th night of Hanukkah. And so that's technically halfway through Hanukkah, and it also means that we're halfway to Hanukkah. I have to admit, I have to be careful with like how I was going to promote this, try to make sure that if I made any jokes, I wasn't going to, step on the wrong toes. I didn't want to say anything to the effect of like on Zoom, no one can smell you schwitz. BYOM, bring your own Manischewitz. Why have Christmas in July when you could have Jews in June? Nevertheless, we have a fun show for you this evening. Obviously, rounding out the night will be the Flower Shop Bangers, who will be doing their second improv set in 7 days. Hopefully, people will get to see this one. Immediately preceding the Bangers is a friend of the show, Kristin Seltman.
Woo!
Right before Kristin, we have the multi-hyphenate comedy stylings of Tony Kapfer.
Woo!
Right before Tony, out of New York, we have comedian David Spector.
Woo!
Right before David, we have more musical comedy courtesy of Ben Pernick.
Woo!
And right before Ben, and then, boy, trust me, this show is stacked. Mm-hmm. Right before Ben, we have Emmy-winning sound effects whiz, Hope Vinitsky. Hope has worked on everything from Late Night with David Letterman to The Young and the Restless to The Price is Right. She is certainly someone, if you've never heard of her, but you've probably heard her work. But leading us off this evening happens to be another comic based out of New York. She happens to have a live show next Monday, June 7th, I believe somewhere in Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome to our show, Esther Forrester. Esther Forrester.
All right. I'll be telling you. All right, now it started.
There we go.
All right. First of all, thank you all for having me on this show. As you can tell, I'm in my car, and I'm still in my tennis outfit. I'm always so much on the go that I think probably when I get married, I'll be like changing in the gas station bathroom out of my tennis clothes into the wedding dress. I'm just always so busy. This is cool to be on here. Stuart, I don't know what to think about you. I think you're a hybrid between like a weatherman and like a tour guide at a museum. And Daniel, I don't know, you seem more like you're a little bit of the crazy one of the duo. You're the guy that's like the evil one that's like, yeah, let's try this, let's try that. And now you're like, oh, no, not me. I don't do that. And Hope, I don't know. I have nothing but respect to you. When he said all your credits, I was like, oh my God. It was like almost as bad. I don't know. When I first started playing college tennis and like all the girls had like these fancy national rankings and I had no idea what I was doing. It's like the safest way to like make me lose my confidence. Even though it's not that hard to make me lose my confidence. But you look like you're really tired, Hope. You look almost more tired than like Jamaican nannies or something. You're like, get me out of here. Is David here yet or no?
So, he's about to log in.
He's about to log in. Oh, I'll save it all up on the roast on him. What else? Yeah. Jose. So I am like so overworked and have so much on my plate that like even if my car got towed, I would actually be happy because it has all my tennis gear in it. And that would like excuse me from work if they towed my car, even though it would cost me like, probably you're like $1,000 poorer when they tow your damn car. When your car gets towed, that's the fastest way to meet all the idiots that exist on this earth when you go to like the tow impound. And nobody knows their VIN number, nobody knows their plate number. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't even know their own names. And like the people are there and they're like, they're like, I don't even know. They're like, I don't have the cash to pay for it. I'm like, then why did you bother even coming? What did you think? They're just going to release your car for free. So yeah, my mom, like, the biggest thing about her is that she's totally not interested in me and I can never get her attention ever. Like, I'll say to her, I'll be like, Mom, I got, mugged. And she'll be like, I'm with my Weight Watchers group on Zoom. I was like, huh? Like, were these people looking to get mugged and lose their wallets so they could finally maybe lose some weight and weigh less? And then I'll be like, Mom, I was in an earthquake. And she'll be like, I'm with my widow's group. And I'll be like, okay, well, did some of the people lose their spouses in an earthquake? And then I'll be like, Mom, I think I finally met someone. And she'll be like, Mudge, the dog, won't poop. I was like, well, as long as he doesn't poop on this guy, that's okay. So I guess none of you have parents that are inattentive. all of you have parents who love you forever and dote all over you. So she might be watching, but she's probably making an excuse not to watch, saying that she can't find it. But speaking of excuses, one of the hardest things about doing comedy that I found is the excuse getting people to come to the shows. And everybody always has an excuse. Like I said to my friend Oksana, I'm like, Oksana, what are you doing today? And she goes, nothing much. And I said, how about coming to a comedy show? And she said, I have poison ivy. And I was like, Oksana, you are an alcoholic. You never go out of your house. And my other friend, Carol, she's like, Esther, I think it's so great that you do comedy. I really want to come see you. And I said, how about Friday night? And she said, I have to do my laundry and my taxes. I was like, Carol, your husband's an accountant and you have a maid. And my other friend, Paul, he is an atheist. But when I asked him to come to a comedy show, he said he has to go to church. And everybody's always making excuses. Like, I have all these guys who will hang out with me anytime, any place. They'd even meet me at a dark alley at 2 a.m. I asked them to come to a comedy show, and the guy who is unemployed, he's the Department of Labor's best customer. He said he has to work. The guy who is a couch potato and he can't even sit up, he said he has to go to the gym. And the guy who hasn't spoken to his mother in 10 years since his mother last gave all the money of their dad to the other guy, their brother, he said he's going to White Castle with his mom. And people like to make tons and tons of excuses for everything. Like my friend, he came to my house and he didn't like what my parents made for dinner. So is that the light? So 2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh, yeah. All right. I think 2 minutes is longer than a lot of these people last in sex. All right. So, yeah, my friend, he's like, he said, oh, he didn't like what my parents made. So he said, I can't eat this. I'm lactose intolerant. But then he goes and orders a pizza. And all right, I guess people are really into vegan or dairy-free pizza here. So, yeah, when like I said before, I posted before that I coach kids tennis, and I am always worried about the high school girls finding out about my personal life. If I sexted a guy a picture in my bra or whatever, I'd always be worried they'd go through my phone and find it. Turns out they've all had threesomes and orgies before. And I'll leave you guys with this one. I always have to wonder, why do we need the name of a psychic? Shouldn't she know we're coming? And one more, we're all in, a lot of us are vaccinated, and they said the CDC says we can just, be unmasked outside. And I say to my clients, I tell them, look, I'm fully vaccinated, but I can still wear a mask, for your sanity. And to me, that's like a guy saying to me, I got a vasectomy, but I can still wear a condom. Thank you so much, guys. You're all the best.
Esther Forrester, everyone. Now, Esther, just a quick mention. You said you had a live show coming up this Monday?
It is, yeah. It's on 6. Yes, Monday at 7, and it's at Cheese Wait, I believe. Let me find it. I'm just gonna find it in 1 sec. I believe it's at Cheese Boat. It's at Cheese Boat in Williamsburg on Monday at 7. So if anyone's in the area, they can feel free and come by.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Esther. So a couple pieces of business before we get to our interview guest this evening. Dan, if you could tell us how things are going on the Facebook Live feed, if anyone has any questions, comments, arguments, grievances, nitpicks.
Sure. Yeah. I thought I would give out some shout outs to some people that I see watching, and that includes Beth Forrester, who says hi.
That's my mom.
There we go. Michael Astraukis, who is someone we've had on the show before. Always great to see him. I see Mark Romanowski, who is probably watching at home with his wife Jordan. Always great to see them. We see them pretty much every week. Another one is Sally LaRue, my girlfriend, who also watches just about every week.
Hey,
Yeah,
LaSalle.
yeah, of course, St. Louis Sal.
Mhm.
And finally, Mitch Kessler, our friend at the Comedy Clubhouse, who also just, he's one of our regulars. Always great to see him. We would see him all the time at the Comedy Clubhouse. Great supporter of comedy in general, and also a terrific performer himself.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan. So when Dan and I moved our show to Shakers on Clark in July 2018, almost 3 years ago, we began a two-man campaign to save Chicago Barprov. So if you're unfamiliar, barprov is a portmanteau, bar, improv. And Dan and I first cut our teeth during kind of a golden age for free comedy in bars in Chicago. As I mentioned to some of our acts before our show started, we used to produce a show at the Underground Lounge in Wrigleyville, walking distance from Wrigley Field. But there used to be free comedy variety shows scattered all over the north side of the city. I mean, you had shows at Quenchers and the Horseshoe and Mullins and a number of other bars. And one by one, these bars started going out of business. Or the bar stayed in business, but realized that the comedy was bad for business, so they canceled the shows. Or because there was kind of a surplus of these shows, people started moving in a different direction. And by the summer of 2018, the very concept of barprov in Chicago had its back against the wall. So Dan and I wanted to be sort of that tent pole for seeing improv and stand-up and God knows what for free while you're getting shit-faced. So as an incentive for keeping Chicago Barprov alive, and as a means of allowing our audience to let us know that they are enjoying the show, we set up this improv tip jar. I designed this myself. Yes. This was an all-weekend project. It's made of imported duct tape, Sharpie, and Belgian plastic cup, I guess. Yes, there is cash inside this tip jar. And it is not only a means of our audience, letting us know that they're enjoying the show, but it's our way of giving back to our performers. And at the moment, there happens to be $56, exactly $56 inside the tip jar, which means split 8 ways between each of our performers tonight. Everyone is going home with $7.
Woo!
We did not tell any of our performers this evening that this was a paying gig. So if you are enjoying the show, and obviously I'm not expecting anyone to throw cash at my third-story apartment, and no one is expecting, well, Dan is certainly not expecting anyone to throw money at his apartment. Venmo us. My Venmo is above. Dan's Venmo is above. We are not. Everything will be split 8 ways. Just think, if you were to donate $24 right now, everyone across the board will get $10. It's as simple as that. Don't ask me how I did the math. That's just how I roll. Without further ado, our special interview guest this evening has worked in TV for close to 4 decades. She is an 8-time daytime Emmy nominee and won for sound mixing for the soap opera The Young and Restless in 1993. Though she is arguably best known for her work on Late Night with David Letterman in the mid-1980s. You can find her on Twitter at Hope V. Please welcome to our show, Hope Vinitsky. Hope, great to have you.
Oh, hi, thanks. Good to be here.
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier on in the show, you may not be someone, you may not necessarily be a household name, you may not be like a name that everyone knows, but you're certainly someone whose work that everyone is familiar with.
Yeah, well, probably don't know me because I'm probably too old for most of you people. But that's okay.
Well, in any case, it's an honor to have you.
So
if you may kind of introduce us, or if you could just maybe demonstrate some of your sound effects wizardry.
Okay. Well, I should have done this when you introduced me. And when somebody does a nice joke, a bad joke, or if you didn't know what the joke was, or if you really shouldn't have said that. Oh no! And the sound that I did the most on Letterman, if some of you are too young, or if all of you are too young.
Oh, give me a second. Give me a second. Hold on.
Okay, I'm ready. I'll wait.
All right.
Here it is. And Dave would throw the glass, and you would hear.
Oh my God, I am swooning. Thank you, Hope.
And I had to do that all the time.
So it probably goes without saying, I'm a longtime Letterman fan. I unfortunately, I was too young to watch Late Night during its original run on NBC in the 1980s and early 90s, but I was.
What year were you born?
1984.
1984. Okay, yeah, you would have easily missed like the first couple of years because we didn't start till 82. After that, there's no excuses, but I'll give you the first 2 years.
Indeed. I personally blame my parents. The first time I was ever allowed to stay up to watch TV past the late news was Dave's first show at CBS.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, I never watched the show because it was on too late for me. But
fair enough.
Came home from work, tired, and I would stay up some of the time. Some of the times I would want to watch the show just to see what happened because it could be so fast that you really didn't know.
Certainly. Now, were you part of like the original crew, like when Dave moved to late night back in the winter of '82?
Yes, I was there. I was there for the very first show. He did the morning show. When he was doing the morning show in like 1980, I had just started there. And I was working on Another World out in Brooklyn. And I didn't even see the show. I hardly really knew who he was. And it was probably, well, I worked on this show in 1981, near the end of 1981. It was a children's show. And they had these puppets and these, marionettes, and it was strictly a kid's show. But during the breaks, these marionettes for children, all of a sudden turned into adult marionettes, and we had a lot of fun. And I kind of started getting the feel of improvising, on that show because. We were working really hard, and during the breaks, we just let loose and we would go crazy. And so one of the person who was the unit manager on that show was later the associate producer on Letterman. And then one day near the end of 81, they said, oh, well, Hal Gurney, he wants you to do the sound effects on the show. And I said, wow. I said, who's Hal Gurney? Because he was on the Jack Parr show. He's very famous.
Legendary director.
Pardon me?
Legendary director.
Yeah. And he was great to work with. So I said, well, that's great. But when I got to that show, I didn't really know anybody or anything that was going on. But Hal was a great director. He would let me do what I wanted to do. And there were times when I'd be working with the writers, and we'd be talking about, a sketch and what was going to happen. And then I said, did you tell Hal? And they said, no. I mean, a lot of times, they're supposed to tell him, but they didn't. So a lot of times they said, Hal, this is what's going on. It's like, who am I to tell the director? I'm just doing, the sound effects.
Fair enough.
It was fun, and it developed, just bit by bit in all kinds of crazy ways.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, obviously the sound effect that you are most famous for was, I believe it came out of a bit that he did in the viewer mail segment. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Thursday nights they would have a segment where audience would mail in questions for Dave, and they try to come up with like a joke based on that response. It could be anything from just like a basic question to just hate mail, and they'd come up with like a short bit that would respond to that question. Now I believe it was Stephen Weiner who came up with the bit involving the the glass sound effect, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, the very first bit, it was written. And after that, and because I had been in this mode, like I told you from the kids show, I told Dave, I said, if you want to do that again, I'll just, I'll do it. I'll just watch for you, do it whenever you want. And then, he started to do it, but the audio people didn't, trust me. So they would leave the fader to sound effects closed unless something was planned, but they were too slow to open it. So then finally one day they had to open that fader and leave it open, and I was free to go.
And Dave just kept doing the effect. It just kind of just became like his regular thing.
Yeah, and then after a little bit, I would throw in a sound after that, and they encouraged me to improvise. I was kind of terrified, and they just said, no, keep doing it, keep doing it. If we want you to stop, we'll come tell you, which they did a couple of times, but most of the time not.
Fascinating. And you were there for what, almost 8 years, correct? I believe you left.
Yeah, I was there from the first show, February 1st, 1982, until the end of January 1990.
And I believe I've seen a clip of this. When you left the show, they give you a little bit of a send-off.
Yeah. No, Dave brought me out to home base, and at that time we didn't have any of the digital stuff. It was all playing just playing audio carts. I had like 800 of them in my room, and so I'd just be grabbing carts and shoving them in the machine and just playing them. Or I would wait for Dave, and I would try to support him and try to play sounds too that he could play off of. And so I was always kind of trying to do that, try to set him up for something where he can make a joke.
That's wonderful. And then right now, is that and then soon after you moved to California, correct?
After in 1990, I moved to California.
Okay.
Yeah. And the show, I did have a reunion with him on a couple of shows on CBS when they came to Los Angeles. So it was like around 94, 95, I think each of those
That's
years.
about right, yes.
They came to LA, and yeah, I kind of had a reunion, and so that was fun. The show had really changed by then.
Oh yeah, I mean, I did notice like I think it was like right around that time that you left, a number of the writers that were there for most of the 80s had also left too, and I think there was a big dynamic shift.
Yeah, and just
you left, Adam Resnick left, Chris Elliott left, I think Jeff Martin left, so there, I mean, quite a bit of people in the writers' room. So I guess it maybe shifted away from some of the randomness and the zaniness of the 80s and kind of.
Yeah, and I read the book by Jason Zimmerman, and that book was excellent. I learned a lot of stuff. Well, I was just in the engine room down in the studio, and they were all up in the production offices, and they were planning and all the stuff, all the political stuff, that would go on upstairs. We wouldn't really see that down in the studio. But he wrote about it in his book, and boy, it was excellent. And I understood even more why I left the show. Because the show had been changing, like you just mentioned, and it was getting a little less improv-y and a little bit more about Dave and less about sketches and things like that.
I think Meryl Marco too. I mean, she was definitely a major voice in the early years of the NBC show as well.
Oh, she was the best. She was the most amazing writer. She was the best one, I think, of any of them. Yeah. And the show just, in the beginning, we were just, trying to figure it out and wing it and trying to get affiliates. That was always a thing. It's like, we didn't want to go off the air. So it was kind of, that was all exciting. And then, the thing is, as you guys know with comedy, once you find things that work, you kind of want to stick with them. And, it just kind of got, after a while, to be a lot of recycling on the show.
Which makes sense. I mean, I even during the CBS years, I noticed quite a bit of repetition. But what's remarkable is that, I mean, obviously you kind of established the whole glass crash sound effect, but they kept doing it. In fact, they kept doing it right to the end, 25 years after you left the show.
Yeah, I always thought, well, this might be one of the longest running jokes, TV.
Quite possibly, yes. And then you moved on to Young and Restless, and then I believe you were also on the Whoopi Goldberg era Hollywood Squares, correct?
Yeah. Well, I moved to Los Angeles, and then I was a staff engineer at CBS.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I also got to work with Carol Burnett on a special called Man Movie in Carol. And that was quite intense working with her. And she's really into sound effects, and she likes to wing it, but working with such a legend like that is like,
oh,
whoa.
Certainly. I mean, and someone who definitely likes to play the rafters too. It's go big or go home with Carol.
Yeah, and there was a thing that she did. She always wanted, if there was a gunshot, you had to have a starter's pistol that you actually shot off in the studio. And she just always, that's something she demanded. Maybe not my favorite thing to do, but all this is going on while he's working on a network television show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't transition on Letterman. People didn't find out about it in Letterman until later. I was in Los Angeles. And actually, the way they started finding out is, if you remember when Dave had his heart surgery.
Yep.
And Paul Schaefer was doing a lot of remotes and kind of covering things. And then they came out to Television City in Los Angeles, where I worked to do a lot of remotes there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't working with Paul and the crew there. They had signed other people to do that, but they knew of me, and I'd given one of them a picture of me, after I transitioned, and they gave that picture, I think, to Paul, and he brought it back to New York, and it got mentioned, a little bit on the show a couple of times, once by Paul and once by Dave, and then when Felicity Huffman was on the show one time, I mean, they really talked about it, and
certainly, I think it's around the time she made the movie Transamerica.
Correct. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Yeah. And it was, I actually got to, she spoke at, one of the industry talks, whatever. And afterwards, I actually, they had the Q&A, and then I actually got to talk to her a little bit, which is kind of fun. And she apologized. She said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "You don't have to be sorry, She's very nice.
Indeed. It's great that she at least touched base with you too. Well, with that said, well, hopefully, I hope this movie, comes into production. I would certainly look forward to seeing it.
The name is Invisible Ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like the name of the club that, the trans people, went to and got together.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's, it's been in development for a long time. Anybody interested in producing it, giving lots of money to make it happen, just let me know.
Yep. We could try and start a Indiegogo right now, or a GoFundMe or something. We could maybe try and get that together.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, Hope, we certainly appreciate that you were able to take time out of your busy schedule to be on our show tonight. It really has been a pleasure.
Well, let's say I retired in 2014, so I'm not that busy, but it was great to be here,
Well, that pleasure was
thanks
absolutely
for
ours.
asking.
And my goodness, I wish I could spend all evening listening to the stories. Again, because you're a witness to like some amazing TV over the last few decades.
Well, that show was great. That show, I don't think I'll ever have an experience like that. It was wonderful.
Indeed. Hope Vinitsky, everyone.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. So Dan, any updates on the Facebook live feed, YouTube feed? Anyone has any questions, comments?
Nope. It stayed pretty consistent. Seems like a lot of the people have stuck around though. So thanks to everyone who's watched so far. Yeah.
All right, excellent. Also, if you have missed any part of the show so far, do not worry. This entire show will be saved and recorded on the Flower Shop Bangers Facebook page right after this show ends. Or if you don't like Facebook for some particular reason, it's also on our YouTube channel. You can find links to both at flowershopbangers.com. And now, here's a little bit of a palate cleanser. We've got some Hanukkah-themed music, some Jewish-themed music, courtesy of Mr. Ben Pernick.
Woo!
Hey, everyone. Great to be here. Yes, I am a guitar comic, which means my most frequent compliment is, that wasn't nearly as bad as I expected. I mean, my dad is a rabbi, and I do comedy, so I'm kind of used to the low expectations. But this is being halfway to Hanukkah, I felt like I just couldn't help indulge myself with a Hanukkah song, because being a rabbi's son, you learn things about Judaism that other people don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, a lot of people think that Hanukkah is about the miracle of oil lasting 8 days. But actually, you know what Hanukkah's really about? It's really about just stealing Christmas's thunder. That's it. But there are some people who get pretty excited for Hanukkah and have reason to, and this is a song for them. It's the festival of lights, my favorite time of year. I had been so bored at work, now I can finally get in gear. The sound of sirens wailing is music to my ears. Hanukkah is more fun when you're a firefighter. I wanna watch the world burn so I can put it out. I'll win more gelt with all the emergencies that Hanukkah brings about. Throw those latkes in the fryer, will rescue you from the grease fire. Add one candle every night so the odds of an inferno get higher. I want 8 blazy nights that'll boost my job stability. Wanna carry grandmas in my arms, helps with my masculine fragility. I don't wanna sound like an animal, but use the wooden dreidels, they're flammable. The miracle is when me and overtime pay are compatible. Okay, so on to the next song. So this one is something completely different. I released an album pre-pandemic, and right now I'm living in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, which is a big hipster town. But before the hipster town, I spent a brief time in Northampton, Massachusetts, which is a hippie town. Really cool place. But it's an adjustment when you're you move from the city and then move to a place like that. So this is a song about that. It's called Granola World. This cute little new age town has made a whole new man out of me. Before I was so mainstream, but now I'm one with alternative society. I got a Reiki master. Any ailment his energy flows can correct. The only thing it can't cure is skepticism that it's all just placebo effect. I buy the whole bar around to raw milk. They'll pay me back through barter trade. But I won't make any deals while Mercury's in retrograde. Welcome to Granola World, where so many offbeat lives unfurl. This is my home truly. We go together like dreadlocks and patchouli. It really gets me high. How folks here look me in the third eye. This drum circle's giving off good vibrations. Sigmund Freud would say I have an aura fixation. I'm in a club for laughter yoga and loving kindness meditation. The moms bring their kids to chickenpox parties. They say it's safer than vaccination. My deodorant is chemical free, so it won't oppress my armpits' natural sense. I can only get laid at music festivals, so when I make love, it's intense. I'll camp out on that punchline. When my mom disinfected my kitchen, I held a funeral for the dead protozoa. I don't buy food with ingredients I can't pronounce, so I never eat quinoa. Welcome to granola world. I love to hula hoop and fire twirl. My new friends are quirky, but you will love their Thanksgiving tofurkey. Every day is like summer camp, just with the Himalayan pink salt lamp. We want to change the world with a Dalai Lama quote, but we are not registered to vote. Oh yeah, let's get higher and higher and higher, 'cause it's a whole new granola world. It's my oyster with eco-friendly pearls. My beard's adorned with flowers. I dance in the rain instead of taking showers. My chakra gemstones rock, but I'm just compensating for the size of my compost pile. We are against materialism and greed. That's why whatever I earn, I spend it all on weed. That part hasn't changed so much. Well, I want to wrap up with another kind of Jewish song. I think, look, it's kind of weird. So my family Jewishly were like all over the place. Like my dad raised us Reform. Then my brother, he's Orthodox. My sister is modern Orthodox, and I'm in it for the food. Except for gefilte fish, they can keep that one. But so I've learned a lot about Orthodox life, and there's some things about it I don't like. It's not very progressive, perhaps surprisingly, and I feel like there's a market. I always try to look for opportunities, and I think it's kind of a shame that there is a lack of good Orthodox Jew pornography. I mean, really, taboo is all the rage. So, like, why not? Just think of the titles. Whores in a hora, Shtuppin' a shiksa in a mikvah, or in honor of Pride Month, we could have an Orthodox gay film with instant replay, and you could call it "Let's See That in Shlomo." Well, anyway, I kind of wanted to write a progressive song about how the rules of Orthodoxy can kind of lead you to be maybe not such a great person. So this is a parody song to finish off, and I'm not going to tell you the title of the song, but I will tell you it's a One Direction parody. I'm insecure because I'm sure your so-called love for me can't possibly endure, and that is why we walked down the aisle after our third date so we could quickly multiply, so nobody else in the room can see you, nobody else but me. We got dividers to block our view of the girls. Yes, we're that horny cause we're not allowed to please ourselves, but at least it keeps the other schmendricks from wooing my belle. They can't get close. We even segregate the funerals. Couldn't even hold hands till matrimony. No wonder consummation was as awkward as can be, but it's still the best you've ever had, so you're afraid to leave. You don't know that as a mate I am unsuitable, so you won't go, and that's what makes you dutiful. Na 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 na. Noi 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 noi. Put something on. Your right to bear arms is gone. To prove I'm right, I'll quote the Talmud and Torah. Don't wear makeup. Get covered up till you look so plain. No man will think about diving your muff. Everyone thinks it's misogynistic. Everyone else but Jews. Now you look like a trophy wife to nobody else. The way you to hide your hair, keeps men from getting overwhelmed. Yet you can wear a wig so lifelike that no one can tell. Why, I don't know. That logic seems disputable. Plus you depend on my financial state. Can't get divorced because you're 24. In our world, that's an old maid. You popped out kids so fast you can never lose the baby weight. We both know your life sentence ain't commutable. Tend the home, self-medicate with pharmaceuticals. Shabbat shalom, that's what makes you dutiful. All right, well, that's my time, everyone. My name's Ben Pernick. Thank you so much.
Ben Pernick, everybody. Thanks so much, Ben. We sincerely appreciate it. All right. So we're going to be rearranging the order of acts momentarily. But before I get to that, Dan, if you can give us another update on the Facebook Live feed.
Yeah, I thought I'd give a shout out to someone new that I see watching. That is Sandy Handley. Thank you very much for watching. And thank you to everyone else who is. Back to you, Stuart.
All right. Thank you so much. Also, just want to remind everyone, we still have this improv tip jar. Everyone is still going home with $7 a piece tonight. So if you are enjoying the show this evening, please Venmo me or Venmo Dan. We sincerely appreciate it. One of our acts is having technical difficulties, so we're going to do a little bit of a switcheroo here. Our next comic was first in our show, I want to say back in February. Multi-having a talent, he tells jokes, he plays guitar. If you consider long hair a talent, then I guess growing long hair is a talent. Please welcome back to our show, Anthony Kapfer.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Does it sound okay?
Sounds great.
I'm playing guitar and drums this time at the same time. All right. So I'm putting out a new album on Friday, and I want to do a couple songs from that. Dear God of rock and roll, are you there? It's me, Anthony. Anyway, I really want to be famous. I was wondering if maybe you could help me out with that? No way, Yahweh, there is no God. I'm sorry. Who is this? This is the Lord of the Underworld. Oh, I must have dialed the wrong number. I was trying to dial 7. Well, I'm afraid you've dialed wrong, 'cause you've reached 666. Oh, my mistake. But hey, since I have you on the phone, I was wondering if maybe you might consider becoming my manager? Or maybe you just have some advice on how to write a really big hit song? What do I do? All you have to do is sing about me. Because the best way to sell art is with controversy. So let's all worship Satan together. It's just for business, not for pleasure. So let's all worship Satan together. It makes everyone's career so much better. Okay, all right. I know what you're thinking. How could I ask the Prince of Darkness to be my manager? But look, all the stories you've heard about Satan, those are just rumors. You don't even know if they're true. And if Satan is really so bad, then why does he have so many nicknames? Where did those come from? He must have had at least a few friends. Oh, Lucifer, you old devil, you. Let's all worship Satan together. Okay, here's the thing. Even when they're not all that great, people just love songs about the devil. And if this song becomes a really big hit and makes a lot of money, Satan will get paid most of the royalties. You know, that was the deal. But to hell with it. I'm not even worried about anything anymore. Plus, I already sold my soul to the devil, so I could get into heaven. Let's all worship Satan together. It's just for right now, it's not forever. So let's all worship Satan together. When it goes out of fashion, never mind whatever. Thanks. What would you say if I asked you a rhetorical question, hypothetically? And what is the meaning of life? Tell me yes or no. That was a trick question. Or was it? I don't know. I don't have all the answers now. How could I when I don't even have all the questions? Ironically, I complain that I do not get sarcasm. Isn't that just great? I want to be a positive person, but that seems so unlikely. Sometimes I think my mind is playing tricks on me, therefore I'm always right. People say that happiness is a choice, but I can never make up my mind. And I know I'm getting older, 'cause now I'm old enough to remember being younger. And now I reminisce about nostalgia, 'cause it used to be better. What if the good old days never happened, but we just don't remember? The future's running late. This trip down memory lane is taking us forever. I always hear people say that money can't buy happiness. But what if I paid them off? Maybe then they'd finally shut up about it. Nothing would make me happier. Don't bother to explain, it'll just go in one ear and right out the other. I don't know anything, but I think therefore I am, or well at least I think so. I am so totally vain. I probably think this song is about me, even though it's vague. But enough about Carly Simon, let's talk about me. Thanks. Here's another one. I want you to die, but only figuratively, not literally, 'cause you're just dead to me. soundly to your bloody screams. I hope you stay alive in reality, but you're so dead inside my fantasies. I am a pacifist, which means I passively exist. But when I lose consciousness, I rule with an iron fist. I want to murder you to death in my dreams. I sleep so you'll be blown to smithereens. I wish you nothing but the best in reality. But you see, you'll die 1,000 deaths in all of my dreams. In my fantasies, I'm busting up both your knees. Thanks. Do I have time for one more, or am I done?
One more.
One more song.
One more song.
All right. I'm going to try this one in a different key than it is on my album. So we'll see if this works. And this album comes out on Friday. It's called I Can't Believe It's Not Better. I drank so much coffee today that technically I am on cocaine. I have multiple personalities, but they are all exactly the same. My psychic friend has short-term memory loss, so she remembers tomorrow like it was today. Yesterday I spilled mustard on my mustard-colored jeans, and today there's an invisible stain. Oh no, oh no, oh no, where'd it go? Oh no, the stain appeared without a trace, and that'll never come out. I know a couple of conjoined twins, but I'm starting to think that they might be the same person, because I've never even seen them in the same room together. Who the hell do they think they're fooling? I'm on to you. I can eat whatever I want. The calories don't count as long as I wear a disguise. Everybody has a birthday coming up. As long as they do not die, the revolution will be televised. In fact, you probably missed it because it wasn't really advertised. I am a pessimistic narcissist. I always feel empty, but I'm full of myself half the time. I know, I don't know, oh no, I don't. I am perfect, but not every time. Oh, I thought the song was done. I am perfect, but not every time. Thank you.
Woo!
Anthony Kapfer, everyone. And he has a new album coming out later this week. What is the name of that new album again?
What's that?
What is the name of that new album again?
Oh, the new album is called I Can't Believe It's Not Better. And it's coming out first on my website, music.anthonykapfer.com. And then it'll be on streaming services soon. But Friday
All right, well, I'll be on the lookout for sure. Anthony Kapfer, everybody. All right, Dan. Any questions or comments on the Facebook feed? Anything wants to say?
No new comments, no new interactions, unfortunately. But you know what?
How many instruments do I have to play at the same time to get some comments going?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I thought I would just say to all those who are watching, if you are enjoying our show and you would like to keep up with us, You can subscribe to the Flower Shop Bangers on YouTube, or you can like us on Facebook. We always appreciate having new followers. Also, Anthony said his website, so I just threw that in the feed if anyone's interested in that as well.
Sounds like a capital idea. Also, piggybacking on that, this particular show is a two-man passion project between Dan and myself. But I also happen to run a comedy page of my own right called Stu News. You may have noticed that there's a massive, humongous, expensive banner that I put underneath that Blackhawks towel that I have hanging on my bedroom wall here. So I run a comedy page called Stu News. It's my quick takes on stuff that's going on in the news. You give me a news headline, I'll come up with a wise-ass comment about it. I've been running the page for almost 8 years now. It'll be 8 years, I believe, on August 13th. And I'm on the cusp of 2,000 likes. So if you're looking for some quick takes on stuff in the news, especially this week, because all late night talk shows are off this week, they're on repeats, like and subscribe to Stu News. Just like and follow facebook.com/Stu News. Or if you prefer Twitter, you can find me at Twitter at HEYSTU818. Without further ado, our next comic has been on our show, I want to say at least twice before, maybe 3 times before. She is originally from New York State, and you can find her on Instagram at Kristin with an I, Seltman. Please welcome back to our show, Kristin Seltman.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thanks for having me. Man, this is fun. I saw on Zoom that there's a way to make it look like you're wearing lipstick. It's really fun. All right. So I am fully vaccinated. Yay! I'm very excited. Yeah, which according to the CDC means that I can continue to kiss my dogs right on the mouth. So that is good. I do have 2 dogs. Yep, 2. The second one was unplanned. He's a rescue. If you ever get a rescue, they make you take him to the vet right there before you can take him home. So the vet took him, and it comes back and like, he's gonna be fine, but he does have heart failure. Not a big deal. He just has to take medicine every day, and here's a prescription. It's like $50 a week. Every couple months, you want to get him full blood work to make sure the medicine's working. That's a couple tests. It'll be about $500, and then once a year, he needs an echocardiogram. I've taken him to a specialist to get that, and that is $1,000, and you just have to pay it because there is no Obamacare for dogs. And I was like, whoa, no wonder this dog was free. You know what I mean? That's one dog I took. You guys have 2. My second dog is old. He just turned 15. Basically, I live in a dog hospice, you guys. It is really sexy over here. Last time I had a guy over, he was like, Kristin, I'd like to give you a neurotic massage. I was like, wow, that sounds amazing, but can you do me one better and rub my dog's arthritis legs? That would really be great. Oh man, yes, the stuff's opening back up again, so that is exciting, right? I was not my best self during quarantine. Someone told me recently that Shakespeare wrote King Lear during quarantine, and all I've written were lies in my food journal. So that's not doing great. Marijuana is legal in New York and New Jersey, so that's exciting. But what about 420? Kind of takes away the fun of 420. So I have an idea. Some of you guys are with me on this one. 420, but for cocaine. I really think that could be a lot of fun, guys. Oh man, my therapist quit. Yeah, doesn't do much to help the fear of abandonment she diagnosed me with. Like, not great. But I still have my psychiatrist, so that's good. I actually just switched my medication, and she was telling me about the new medicine, and she was like, okay, this can have some interactions with things, so like don't do like heroin. And I was like, don't do heroin like just general medical advice? You know what I mean? Like, if I OD from a combination of Wellbutrin and heroin, isn't that one kind of on me? How scared of getting sued are you guys? But yeah, I'm really anxious. I can't sleep. That's my problem. I get really anxious at night. I can't fall asleep. My boyfriend can't sleep either, right? He told me he can only fall asleep to white noise. So whenever he stays over, I have to play country music. Supportive. I support my boyfriend. I support him. He told me when to give up drinking, right? I was like, I support you. That's healthy. I didn't know it would mean he would order Shirley Temples everywhere. That's weird, right? He doesn't even share the cherries. What a nightmare. Oh man. I had a horrible boyfriend that I lived with once, right? Do you guys ever meet someone and they tell you their parents don't love them and you get to know them and you're like, I get it, right? Makes sense. That was this guy. He was the worst. He was a pathological liar. He lied so much, like, didn't even make sense. One time he was like, Kristin, I'm going to marry you. You're the only woman who's ever made me come. And I was like, but you have 4 kids. It just doesn't make sense. On our second date, he told me the kids. He said I have 3 or 4 kids. I remember telling my best friend about the guy I met, and I told her that part, and she's like, wait, 3 or 4? Like, you don't know how many, or he doesn't know how many? And I was like, who cares? He is 6'2". You know what I mean? Turns out that was another lie. The guy's like 5'9". And I can't tell how tall men are. That's the thing about me. Oh man, I work as a lawyer. You know, and sometimes people like that, and sometimes they are like intimidated by it. Like this guy, he was like, oh, I could pass the bar. I could pass the bar if I took it right now. And I was like, well, one, you have a criminal record, so they won't let you. But 2, like, who needs that guy, right? Like, that's like you're at the scene of an accident and someone right there like, oh my God, is anyone here a doctor? And he steps up, he's like, well, I'm not, but I could have been. Not very helpful. Oh man, I'm close with my mom. Like geographically, she just lives in Westchester, but no, we are close. We get along pretty well as long as we don't talk about politics, right? That is the deal that we have. But every once in a while she breaks her own rule. The other day she said, I like Donald Trump. That guy just says whatever he wants. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. And I was like, okay, cool. But how come when grandma did that, you put her in a home? Fair. Guys, I'm not going to put my mom in a home, but that doesn't mean I won't threaten her with it, right? You got to keep them on their toes. We'll go out and my mom will pay for dinner and she'll be like, you're an expensive date. And I'll remind her what's expensive is the old age home where they don't all have mysterious bruises, right? That place is not cheap. Me and my mom look a lot alike. I know because anytime anyone ever comments or compliments my appearance, my mom said that's because she looks like me. But anytime anyone thinks I'm pregnant because I'm wearing a flowing top, my mom's like, well, that never happens to me. I'm like, well, maybe because you're 60. You know what I mean? So, but sometimes people will think me and my mom are a lesbian couple, right? Which bums me out because I feel like I could do better. Land honor woman, you know, she's like 30 years older than me and she never uses moisturizer. What I am saying. Oh man, I have a big Italian family on my mom's side. So it's not usually me and her, it's me, her, and a bunch of people. At dinner, I've got to decide who I'm going to sit next to, the racist, the sexist, the one who runs the pyramid scheme. I don't know who you guys would pick. I usually go for pyramid scheme, right? You get free shakes. And those things are pretty good. I got stuck next to the sexist. I have a stepbrother. He is a men's rights activist. It's true. He is fighting the good fight. Good for him. He asked me, he was like, Kristin, did you know there's a war on men? And I was like, did you know that there's a war on your hairline? And you are losing ground. I thought that would shut him up, but it didn't. Nevertheless, he persisted. Kept going. And he was like, no, honestly, how do you feel about the war on men? And I said, you know, I feel we need to send more troops. Maybe like a campaign of shock and awe, total regime change, whatever it takes. Oh man, I missed the pyramid scheme cousin. I have a cousin in the biggest pyramid scheme in the world. He sells heroin. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Or he says it sells itself, right? He's doing fine. He was in rehab. And when he came out, I asked him, because, you know, because of the Wellbutrin, I told you guys about that before, I can't do heroin. So I asked him, what does it feel like to be on heroin? And he told me, he said, it feels like you're wrapped in a hug of warm towels. And I was like, whoa, I get it, because that feels amazing, right? But that is also a feeling you can very cheaply and safely recreate in your own home. So, oh man, I think we might be getting a little bit too woke. Hear me out, guys. I was walking my dogs in the park the other day and I saw this little girl, and she was yelling, stop mansplaining at me. And I look over and there's a man in front of her and he's like, but I'm your dad and you're 5. So I think that guy gets a pass, right? He was like telling her where she lived or not to eat her boogers. Those things are okay. Oh gosh. My sister, she is a CrossFit champion. She's like the third fittest person in Texas or something. She told me, she's like, I'm so fit, I don't even get my period anymore. And I was like, I don't think that's what that means. Thanks. But she is on this diet where she only eats free range chicken. So I mean, I was like, why? Is it, healthier? Is it like better for working out? And she was like, no, it's more humane to the chicken, which I don't get. Why is it more humane to kill and eat the chicken that has a pretty good life and like lives on a farm and stuff, right? Isn't it more humane to kill and eat the chicken who's like, I live in a cage, they keep pumping me full of drugs, and my dad will not get off of me. I wish that I were dead. That's who's in my McNuggets, and I think I'm better for it. All right, well, my name is Kristin. Thank you guys for having me.
Kristin Seltman, everyone. I just want to take a moment to thank Kristin and Tony and Esther and Ben and Hope. Thank you so much to everyone who's been on our show tonight. I just want to mention that before we get to our final act. We are always grateful to all of our performers. Also, for those of you who are waiting to see David Spector, we may as well just be forthcoming and direct about what happened. So David was supposed to lead off our show tonight, but well, first of all, he ended up late at work. Something happened at work, and he nearly forgot about the show, so he had to rush home. And just as he logged into Zoom, he was maybe on Zoom for maybe all of 90 seconds, just as we were vetting him about the show itself, his internet crashed, and he wasn't able to get his internet back on. So we are going to reschedule David. He'll be in our show at some point in July. That said, let's take one last look in at the Facebook Live feed. Any comments, Dan?
Yes, I thought I would give a shout out to one more person that I see watching, and that is Matthew Dietz. Thank you for watching, Matthew. And everyone else who is watching tonight. All
right. Also, if you want more information about the show, again, you can find us at flowershoppingers.com, and you'll find a link both to our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So again, if you're on Facebook right now, not really Facebook type, you can always watch us every Wednesday on YouTube. And we have another jam-packed show this coming Wednesday. That will be, I believe, our 109th remote show next week. I don't think 109 is divisible by anything, but I would say it's prime for comedy. Our special guests that evening are going to be Jessica Rotondi, Angela Cobb, Alexa Albanese, Jeff Dillon, and Julie Weidman. So please make sure to check that out. I was going to make a wise comment before Kristin walked out that we have this unofficial rule in the show that anytime we book Kristin Seltman, we have to book Jessica Rotondi. The two of them just go right together. They're like, kittens in a shoebox. Without further ado, your final act of the evening are the co-hosts and co-producers of Semi-Regular Wednesdays, who, until 15 months ago, were hosting this show at Shakers on Clark in the Boys Town neighborhood in Chicago. They celebrated their 8th anniversary right here this past April, and it performed in improv festivals, back when we were in person, in cities as far away and as far flung as Omaha, Nebraska, St. Louis, Missouri, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Baltimore, Maryland. Please welcome Flower Shop Bangers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you look up above us, you will see that I put Stuart and Mai's Venmos up there. That for now, it is a competition for laughs. Whoever you give money to is the person who was funnier, apparently, during this last set. Not really. All of it's still just going to be divided equally amongst all of the acts tonight. With that said, we are the Flower Shop Bangers. We're going to some improv for you, and we get weird with it. Huh? Wait, what'd you say? Wait, wait, no, you said something. I swear you said something. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you or anything, but
I must have nodded off. I sometimes when I pass out, I kind of mumble. I tend to do this when I sleep too.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. It sounded like something about the Cowboys jumping over the moon, and there was I think there was a witch involved.
Oh my God! You're describing my dream. Oh my
really?
God! Oh, okay. I feel like really crappy right now because I was sleeping on the job.
Yeah, you are sleeping on the job. That's pretty terrible, actually. You sleep with
Yeah.
your eyes open too.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you can tell too. Like, holy crap! You can just tell when my pupils just kind
Yeah.
of step back.
It looked weird. Not gonna lie, it looked weird. You were sleeping with your eyes open and you were dreaming, and I genuinely thought you were trying to have a conversation with me.
Oh my. Oh, I. Man, I mean, well, first of all, I'm glad that you understand.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna-
I mean, sort of. I can tell you. I don't know. Anyway, did you get my email?
Oh, yeah,
I just
yeah.
came over here to talk about it. I figure, you're
Yeah,
out
of
here.
course. I mean, this is bad form because we're both security guards.
Yeah, no, we are. But
Yeah,
did you get my email?
I have my phone here. I can see you sent me an email. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's absolutely fine, Rich. Yeah. I mean,
I was coming over here to talk with you about this email because you hadn't responded in about 10 minutes, which by work standards means it's time to come over to your desk and talk to you.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, you've got the Rick rules.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. You've been looking at
about how emails are answered, when emails are answered, how emails should be answered.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is where I'm slipping, man, because I'm a security guard. I shouldn't even be asleep right now.
Yeah.
I'm being paid by the hour.
I know.
Yes. I will cover you next Thursday.
Thank you.
You are most welcome.
Yeah, no. Thursday I was booked for the monitors,
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you're just going to have to do exactly what you're doing right now, exactly where. Just make sure you don't fall asleep next time.
Yeah,
Just going to throw it out there. Monitors is the easiest place to fall asleep, but it's also the worst because when you're on monitors, you're looking at everything.
Oh, yeah. I got to make sure I pour myself a strong cup of coffee.
Do you want to switch places? I'm just going to throw it out there. You can take the field. I'll take the monitors.
Oh my God, that would mean a lot to me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, normally this thing is airtight. Normally we don't switch in the middle of our whatever. But I mean, yeah, I could stand a walk around.
Yeah, no, you really seem like you could. Maybe you should get a cup of coffee. I don't know. I put on a fresh pot, but honestly, it's all the way.
Oh, Rick.
In the fine art section.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine arts?
Yeah, no, it's in fine arts. I mean, I know it's kind of a long walk. I'll
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, this is a high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a long walk to everywhere. I mean, this whole building is only 2 stories.
It's true.
It takes 5 minutes to get from the northwest corner of the building to the southwest corner.
But those art students, quite frankly, Miss Lee, she puts in the best coffee and she doesn't mind if I take it. I've asked her many times. She doesn't mind if I use, a little bit of her coffee and put it in a coffee pot.
And I find that so endearing.
Yeah.
I mean, he really looks out for us.
No, Miss Lee's great.
God,
seriously.
I can really go for that coffee right now. Oh
yeah, no. You should take a walk over there.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I'm gonna watch you on the monitor. Make sure. I mean, you shouldn't fall asleep on your way.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean.
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, have a seat. I'll walk over to the fine arts. I think it's next to the pottery kiln or something. All right, I've got my walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Go. Man, there's a lot going on at this school.
You see something?
I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna keep looking.
Okay.
You know what? I think I might see something here. I'm gonna show you.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I've got my phone here too. I've got my walkie-talkie on my phone. Okay. Right now, I'm in the East Corridor, 2nd floor.
Hey, 1 second. Can you wait 1 second? I'm gonna. All right. Do you see it?
I guess I do.
Okay. All right. So this is. You have to watch what I'm seeing here. This is terrible.
All right. Oh my
I
God.
know. He just knocked over that. I mean, seriously, it's clearly a wet floor. You don't want to knock over that sign. That's terrible.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
come
seriously.
on.
Come on. I mean, these kids have no respect.
Ah, Christ. Okay.
I know.
I'll
Seriously.
call cleaning and see what
I
they can
know.
do.
I know. I'm
All right.
amazed the kids here in the middle of the night, quite frankly.
Okay, this is Joe at security.
Mm-hmm.
Joe to cleaning. Joe to cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it looks like we've got some toilets clogged up in the
Yeah.
west corridor. West
Yep,
corridor,
yep, yep.
first floor.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible, isn't it?
It's gonna pour down.
Seriously, this is what we need right now. All right, so I'm going to show you something else right now. And you know what? When you come back here, you can show me what you see if you want to.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is what was caught on camera.
Okay, it looks
You know
like
what?
What's going on? Brandon and Marcus.
One second, I'm realizing something. The audience is seeing nothing that we're seeing.
oh my God, it looks like it's professionally
1 second.
produced, too.
Yeah, I know.
Almost looks like an episode of Degrassi.
Yes. Here. Now
Okay, now you're just yanking my chain, Rick.
What?
Oh, yeah, okay, now you're just showing old episodes of Degrassi.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, this is the episode where Drake gets shot?
I don't know. They're having a fight.
Okay, they're clearly having some kind of fight. And it looks like you're looking up security cameras.
Yeah, I know. There's some fight over prom. Anyway.
Okay. All right. I mean, if the clip doesn't work, I mean, I believe you. All right.
Yeah. No, it's you know.
She's out of sugar.
Yeah.
I'll drink it black. Probably for the best.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
Okay. Well, hopefully maintenance will get into the middle of that whole.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Thing.
How's that coffee?
Oh God! I mean, this is the hair of the dog. This is exactly what I've been looking for.
Mm-hmm. I believe you. Yeah, no.
Sick, too.
Yeah.
I feel like a new man here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he does. I don't know what she puts in this coffee.
That's exactly how I felt about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. Boy, I mean, thanks for letting me know about over in fine arts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You really can't underestimate Miss Lee's coffee. She brings it. I'm pretty sure she orders this stuff from all over the world. I've seen coffee from Italy, Venezuela, Chile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure she's very she's very, very eclectic.
I didn't know until she started bringing it in that Macedonia made coffee.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot better than that Bosnian coffee.
Ah, dear Lord! Like, first off, I thought that the first coffee, I was pretty sure it came from the Aztecs, if I remember that right. So I don't know how it made it back to Europe, and then they started growing their own and making it decent.
That's a good question. I read up about like Starbucks and their whole fair trade thing, but I guess I've never read up on the history of coffee.
I understand that. Yes, you are correct. Starbucks does do a lot of fair trade stuff. They're apparently a pretty decent company. A lot of the people that work there, I've been told, are like, you know what? It's actually not a bad place to work. Yeah. So but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in South America that coffee was discovered by the Spanish. They shipped it back, and then it kind of became popular there. But, growing their own, that's a whole nother thing. You might not have the right conditions. You might not, it might not grow naturally there. And it might not taste very good once it's grown.
Hey, any updates on the what was going on in the West Corridor downstairs?
You know what? Do you have any updates?
I haven't heard anything. Security never got back to me.
Oh, really? Well, I haven't heard anything either. Let me get
Joe,
back with them.
This is Joe from security. I need maintenance, please. Come on.
What do you need maintenance for?
To clean up that mess. God damn.
Oh, that's true. That mess was a pretty big mess.
Yeah, I mean, there's no kids in this corridor right now. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't think they're gonna care if I cuss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what's the hard part about like having a strong cup of coffee like this?
Yeah.
There's always the possibility you might just crash. Like you may just have this epic caffeine jolt and your heart races, and you all of a sudden you have just kind of this manic, like spastic, like energy.
Oh, yeah.
You're just prostrate on the floor, out cold.
I mean, do you want to come back here and come work the monitors? I can go back on the field.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if that works for the best. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I appreciate you're so flexible about this.
Yeah.
You know,
Sorry, it got a little dull here on the monitors. Not gonna lie, nothing's really happening right now.
Why do you think I was passing out? I mean, between you and me, it's like there's other things going on at like 6 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think volleyball practice wrapped up like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the big match against Central, but
yeah, I know. It's been
suspicious about that.
Yeah. Whew. Oh God.
Okay, well, let me have a seat. Thanks for covering me.
Yeah, no problem.
Rick, I mean, appreciate it. Oh well, time to go. Just kind of figure out what's going on here.
Whoa. You did not just sit in your feet and fall asleep, man. First off, this time you closed your eyes. I established earlier that you sleep with your eyes open.
Wow, oh man, it must have been the coffee.
I know. The coffee put you to sleep? I don't understand that. But regardless, that people have different reactions to different things.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just the coffee itself. Because I was, I'm saying, sometimes sometimes it gives you like a strong jolt,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
it's just way too short form.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to find some other way to stay awake. You got any of those sugar pills, Rick?
Sugar pills.
No, trucker pills.
Oh, trucker pills. Trucker pills.
Amphetamines. I mean,
let me take a look. What do you know? I got like one left.
Oh, come to Papa. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Oh man. Well,
I mean, if that doesn't work, I don't know what will. Quite frankly, I got nothing left for you. But I'm gonna start going on the field, and okay, you look quite wired.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I think I'm set for this 12-hour shift. I think I'm gonna be pretty good till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Wow, you look crazy right now. Your eyes are so wide, and your mouth is so open.
All right. Let's see what's on camera 7. All right.
Camera 7. All right. You want to see what's on camera 7?
All right. I see what's on camera 7. What's on camera 8? What's on camera 8?
Okay.
Okay. What's on camera 10? Back to camera 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I still haven't fixed the bathroom.
Oh no.
That's our show. Our sincere thanks to all of our performers tonight. We again do this every Wednesday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Again, thanks to Hope Vinitsky, Kristin Seltman, and all of our other acts. We'll be back next Wednesday with local news and comics. In the meantime, this pandemic is not quite over yet. Please wear a mask wherever they ask you to wear a mask. Please stay 5 or 6 feet apart. Please only go out when you absolutely have to. In the meantime, Black Lives Matter.